You never know what you might find in the sand when you visit the beach. Some of the strangest things have washed up on the shores of the world's beaches. From human appendages to giant Lego figurines, here is my list of the most curious and random things ever to be spat out by the sea. Giant eyeball. In 2012, a Florida man found an eyeball the size of a grapefruit on Pompano Beach. It was quickly handed over to wildlife officials, who put the eye on ice and sent it off for genetic testing. Many believed it belonged to Bigfoot, or some kind of prehistoric sea creature. Others speculated that the eye was from a giant squid, as anything else with eyes that big would have their eyes embedded in hard tissue. And squid eyes are embedded in relatively soft tissue. However, squid experts pointed out that the eye was surrounded with bone, which squids don't have. After weeks of tests, it was eventually determined that the eye had most likely belonged to a swordfish. Most likely, cut out by a fisherman and tossed overboard. Valuable whale excreta. When Lancashire man, Ken Wilmans, was walking his dog, he noticed a smelly yellow lump of something on the beach. At first, Wilman had no interest in it, but out of curiosity, he looked it up on the internet when he got home. When he realized that what he had found was around a 6-pound pile of precious ambergris, or whale vomit, he quickly hurried back to the beach to get it. Ambergris is a waxy substance produced in the intestines of sperm whales to protect their digestive tracts from sharp squid beaks. Despite its nickname, it's likely excreted rather than vomited into the ocean, where it floats around for untold years before occasionally washing up on shore. The pile that Ken had stumbled upon was worth around $180,000. So why is ambergris so sought after? Well, it is used in high-end European perfumeries as a fixer that allows the scents to stay on the skin for much longer. A bag of severed human hands. A fisherman near Khabarovsk, Siberia, was startled to discover a human hand poking out of the snow on an island in the Amur River on March 8, 2018. He soon discovered a total of 54 severed hands, which had somehow washed ashore in a bag at the popular fishing location. The authorities were quickly summoned. Rumors circulated about vicious crime organizations chopping off hands of people who owed them money. Or a crazed serial killer disposing of body parts into the sea. But the investigative committee of the Russian Federation told the public not to worry, as the hands most likely came from a local forensics lab, where they were kept as a form of identification, and then improperly disposed of. The committee promised a full legal assessment. Love letters from World War II. The day after Hurricane Sandy ravaged the East Coast in 2012, Kathleen Mullen made an incredible discovery near the Jersey Shore. A stack of 57 letters had washed ashore in the storm. Kathleen took the letters home and dried them by the fire. She soon realized that she had stumbled upon love letters, written between Dorothy Fallon and Lynn Farnham between 1942 and 1947, while Lynn was in the military. It's unclear where the letters came from, but Mullen was determined to get them back to the couple. Through research online, she was able to locate a niece who lived in Virginia. Dorothy and Lynn had gotten married after the war and had 2 children. Lynn and the couple's son are deceased and their daughter had lost touch with the family. But 91-year-old Dorothy was still alive and living in a nursing home in New Jersey. She was delighted to have the letters returned, saying, "It's magical. This can't be real. It's like a genealogical gold mine. It's just that moment that you think is lost forever. It's a gift." The world's scariest fish. Creatures very often wash up on shore. It's not uncommon to find stranded jellyfish, the occasional octopus, or even a beached whale. But this fish, washed up on the shore of Mululaba Beach, looked like something out of your worst nightmares. This terrifying creature, which is known to live in some of the deepest parts of the sea, is quite a rare species, with sharp teeth and dark scales that has warranted its name as the hellfish, for obvious reasons. If this is what you are likely to come across in the deepest depths of the ocean, I think I'd rather stay above water. Ghost ship. When the great cargo ship Sam Ratchalingi disappeared at sea, people assumed it had sank. No one could have imagined that almost a decade later, the ship would turn up, just a couple of miles off the coast of a village in Myanmar. It was first spotted by some fishermen off the coast of Yangon, and it wasn't long before the Myanmar Navy were taking a closer look at the Sam Ratchalingi. The rust had spread to many parts of the ship, but the more the Navy searched for clues about what had happened, the more they were left pondering the events that led to this ship being abandoned. Not a single soul was found on the Sam Ratchalingi, dead or alive, and its appearance on the shores of Myanmar was puzzling for officials. The last log journey made by the ship was recorded in 2009, as it was sailing nearby Tainan City in Taiwan. Why the crew abandoned the ship is a mystery, but perhaps it was their ghosts who sailed the ship to shore. Shark head. A severed shark head and 2 fins were found at the Davis Island Dog Beach in Tampa Bay. Dave Shore said he was visiting the beach when he came across what he described as clean-cut pieces of shark, about 20 feet from each other, which would indicate that the shark had been killed nearby. According to local NBC affiliate WFLA, Shore thought the shark might have been attacked by another shark at first. His wife was the one who suggested that someone had cut off the shark's head. Shore said, "It had to have been done by a human. The closer you look at it, there's just no way an animal would specifically eat off a body and leave the fins and head." According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, all sharks caught for use must remain in whole condition with heads, tails, and fins attached until landed. There are certain species of sharks that are allowed to be caught, however, it would be limited to 1 shark per person, per day, with an overlapping limit of 2 sharks per vessel. 2-headed dolphin. The unusual marine mammal, discovered by a tourist in the city of Izmir, Turkey, is only the 5th known case of conjoined twins in the dolphin family, and only the 3rd that is known to have lived beyond the fetal stage. Because conjoined twins usually die while in the womb, how often the condition occurs in dolphins and whales is unknown. Though conjoined twins are common in humans, the fetal abnormality is extremely rare in wild mammals. Between 1671 and 2006 there were only 19 recorded cases. The Turkish dolphin pair is classified as Parapagus dicephalus, the most common manifestation of conjoined twins, in which the animals share one body but have 2 heads. These types of twins would not have been able to survive long in the wild, due to the difficulties they would have had in swimming and surfacing to breathe. Scientists said that it would be extremely difficult to determine the age and species of the twins, due to the condition of the carcass and location where it washed up. A local university plans to put the dolphins on display, however currently the carcass is actually missing. Dinosaur femur. A fragmented femur bone, hidden underwater for millions of years, has become the first evidence that a dinosaur once roamed Washington. And not just any dinosaur. This beast was a theropod, a 2-legged, mostly meat-eating group of beasts, such as Tyrannosaurus rex and Velociraptor, that are related to modern-day birds. Scientists found the 80-million-year-old fossil of the dinosaur when they were searching for extinct marine invertebrates and other fossilized animals. They had focused their fieldwork in the San Juan Islands near Seattle. In April 2012, when the tide was out, they noticed a fossilized bone embedded in the marine rock. The researchers immediately contacted paleontologists at the University of Washington, who sent out a team to excavate the fossil with a rock saw. Once they removed the fossil from the rock and flipped it over, the researchers saw several signs that the fossil was half of the left femur of a theropod dinosaur. It measured 16.7 inches long by 8.7 inches wide, but would have been almost 4 feet long before it broke. The finding makes Washington the 37th U.S. state known to have dinosaur fossils. A giant Lego man. This 6-foot-tall, red, green and yellow figure, which has the slogan, "No real than you are," painted on the front, was discovered on a beach in Brighton by a resident on his way to work. In the previous year, a giant Lego man, bearing a close resemblance to the Brighton figure, mysteriously appeared on Zandvoort Beach in the Netherlands too. The blue and yellow figure was pulled out of the sea and bore the same slogan, "No real than you are." A LEGO spokeswoman said, This giant Lego figure came as quite a surprise to us when we heard about it. We understand the person behind this is a Dutch artist called Ego Leonard, who will be exhibiting in London in the coming weeks.